War is more than love. Right then, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa Offline Championship here for round number 12 of the 2020 Formula 1 World Championship here at the Portimao circuit in the southern coast of Portugal for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Yes, Formula 1 is back for the fourth consecutive time at this wonderful track. And we are here for 12 minutes of the first stage of qualifying. In the commentary box, it is me, your commentator Miran, and joining me once again, it is Jamie. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you once again, Mariana. It's great to have you back here for the F1 race again. Here we are for 11 races in the European continent now. It all comes down to round 12 here in Portugal. It is the final European race in the calendar at the minute, and what a track it is. It's been a staple here since 2017 here, and as we can see from the history here of ACOC F1, this will surely be an exciting qualifying session here.
Yes, indeed. This track has brought many exciting memories to the viewers of the ACOC. A lot of action and a lot of drama is associated with this track over the years of Formula 1. But as we're looking at Lewis McIntyre on his lap, I will go through the track. So the Algarve International Circuit, known as the Autodromo Internacional do Algarve, or just the Portimao Circuit, located in the town of Portimao in the Algarve region of Portugal. The track was opened in October of 2008, and costed a total of 195 million euro to build. That is due to the fact that not only was a racing track built here, but things like apartment complexes, a hotel, a test track, and even a karting track was built around this little area. But yeah, the track hosted the final round of the World Superbike Championship in the year of its opening. It's played host to several major series, both national and international. So not only World Superbikes, but things like the Endurance World Championship, the European Le Mans Series, and the International GT Open as well, with Formula 1 actually coming here in the real-life year of 2020, and would come in for 2021 as well. But the track, which has remained unchanged since its opening in 2008, is 4.692 kilometers long, and the current layout features 16 turns, with a race lap record of 118.7 set in 2020. But the track, which is a fan favorite among many, features a mix of fast and slow corners, lots of elevation changes, and all that paired together with one long straight. It's very, very reminiscent of a lot of different racing circuits, and it takes the best out of a lot of circuits, I have to say. But yeah, Jamie, what do you make of the track?
Well, this track is actually very special. In fact, in regards to the latest of the Grade 1 circuits, which is FAA sanctioned and graded, this is actually one of the few that is not actually not constructed by Herman Tilke, actually. This is actually constructed by someone completely different. And as a result, this nature of a track here is very strange in regards to these drivers here are used for like back-to-back corners followed by long straights. This one here is completely different. It's only got one straight and then followed by a series of fast and slow corners and only like one medium straight at the moment. And as regard to this is a very heavy elevation favorite track at the minute, especially in sector 2 and sector 3, which you can see a lot of overtakes being happened here. The amount of blind corners that has happened here, the amount of blind corners that are the nature of this track here can provide some amazing driving here. And this track here, given its nature at the moment, is why it's such a fan favorite at the moment. And as we can see, as the qualifying session here is slowly running down at the minute, there's actually pretty surprising times, I must say. So very good there for Klaus and Sajnitsky as well. But it's a good day for our driver. He's got himself up at the third at the minute.
Yeah, good start from Laban as Dennis Graf dethrones him for third at the moment. Dennis Graf, lots of good memories for him around the circuit, as it was all the way back in 2017, where the German would clinch his first championship with Ferrari at this track. Yeah, and the championship being quite a lot more crucial now as well, considering Jesper Johansson, after his result at the Nürburgring, has taken the championship lead away from Dennis Graf, which marks the first time, surprisingly enough, Jesper Johansson leads the championship this season. But 9 points separate the two world champions at the moment, with Enis Parachki slowly gaining on the pair. What would you say about that?
Yeah, every point here matters at this point between Johansson and Klaus. Now, this is a rivalry that we can expect to wrap up the intensity in the coming weeks, and especially in the other tracks as well. We've got ahead in Asia, which is no margin for error here. So Parechki really does need to play the team game if he wants to help his teammate Johansson to clinch the Drivers' Championship here. But this is Jesper Johansson's time as well, because he could be in here. He's won here 2 consecutive back in 2019 and 2018. So he's coming in with a bit of favoritism here for himself, as he knows the track better than Klaus does in regards to the race wins he has here. So the pressure kind of mounts up on Johansson as well to maintain that margin of gap in order to get a relaxing lead heading into the championship as it comes to the Asian continent.
Yes, obviously, Johansson a race winner around this track, but traditionally speaking, this track has always been a bit more of a Red Bull track in the past, when especially in 2017 and 18, when the pole was taken by both Mohamed Patel and Alfred Klaus respectively in those seasons. So this track seems to be where Red Bull should be able to triumph a bit more over Mercedes, especially considering this track features a lot of technical corners, so it should be where they're able to do a bit better. But we'll see how things will go. Obviously, with about 3.5 minutes to go, Klaus is currently at the top of the table from Johansson and then Parachki. Should also take a moment to mention your bottom 5 at the moment, which is Giulia Cisetti, followed by Kai Cherezhnia, Victor Album, Daniel Wale, and Josef Frederick Schuto. At the moment, it's not looking too good for the man from Poland in the Racing Point, who currently is down in 17th, but we'll see if he's going to be able to get an improvement later on into the session, as he is on a flying lap right now.
Yeah, we've seen that the Racing Point has done very good in qualifying sessions here so far in the past as well. It's been just an amazing improvement at speed, as Parechki proves once again. It doesn't displace Johansson and Klaus or splits the two either, but it is still an improvement as he goes third so far as it stands, but still ahead of championship rival Dennis Graf for Johansson, so it still gives him a bit of a statement, a bit of momentum. Kai Cherezhnia crosses the line. It's a definite improvement for the pole as he goes 6th.
Yeah, good stuff from Kai Cherezhnia. That will bring both Racing Points safely through, I would say, but that will knock Emilia Konechina into the elimination zone. And you have also got, I'd say, a few honorable mentions would be Fernando Tost in 8th, who has had quite a dismal qualifying record as of late. And then Jafari Blackwood as well, being able to outdrag that Haas into Q2 is certainly a very, very impressive feat from Jafari. But with 2 minutes to go, we'll see if anyone else is going to be able to drag themselves out of the bottom 5.
We shall see. Definitely, as we've seen in the cases for qualifying 1 and qualifying 2, it's always going to be the last minute changes that's going to have a lot of position changes here. So we'll see if Jafari Blackwood will be able to maintain and maybe even keep for his second consecutive qualifying 2 appearance. He did very good in the Nürburgring here, and if he does it again here in Portimao, that will definitely bring momentum for Haas and in regards to his seat for next season as well.
Yeah, I have to say, his performances recently, especially after the French Grand Prix, have just been quite good. I have to say, he's been consistently beating Victor Album as there across the line goes Luca Farina up into P6. It was P6, now it's P7 as Kai Cherezhnia takes back 6th place from his former F2 rival, Samet Özkan, who had a very, very good return at the Nürburgring, is currently in 9th. He is also through into Q2 most likely, as we look at the man who currently is last at the moment, Daniel Wale, who has been rumored to leave Alfa Romeo for 2020, but nothing is certain just yet as he comes into the pit lane.
Yeah, that's not going to allow him any time for improvements now. So that will confirm Daniel Valle is going to be knocked out as well. Thomas Manges is outside the top 10, which is quite surprising for the Croatian given his performances. He's kind of gone a bit downhill so far in the second half of the season so far, to be honest, in regards to his amazing back-to-back consecutive podium performances. Ever since then, he's kind of slowly dipped behind his teammates Kai Chereshny's performances, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be... it is pretty interesting to see that Chereshny has the upper hand in the later half of the season, considering how well Mandic was performing. Especially considering he got those two back-to-back podiums at Barcelona and Sepang. But I have to say, it's still pretty good to see that both Racing Points can still be up there and fight with each other in what looks like to be the best season, as Emilia Konishina goes across the line, and she is up into P14 and at the moment is through into Q2, so it might not be absolutely hopeless for Alfa Romeo here at Portimao.
Yeah, absolutely. The checker flag is just waved now, so that means only Julie Sassetti of the elimination zone can improve and try and get there. But in regards to the Williams' performance, it might be too big of a task for Julia, which is a bit disappointing given her great performances so far. Alfred Klaas is going to go ahead and cross the line with no improvements though, but he'll still finish the session fastest. Laban Cisnitschkai still remains in 8th though, as Thomas Manjic also heads into the pits. So yeah, it's only Julie Sassetti now, who's currently being trailed behind by a Red Bull, can improve. But I'm not sure if she has the momentum to do it, actually, man.
We'll see if Chiasetti is going to be able to manage an improvement. The Italian, who I believe only has managed one Q2 appearance this season, which I think was the first round of the season at the British Grand Prix, as Chiasetti is going to go across the line. Let's see if she can do it again. And it is going to be no improvement for Chiasetti, and Asciutto is in the pit lane. Both Williamses are confirmed out, as Emilia Konishina is going to go across the line. Let's see if she can manage an improvement, as she is safely through into qualifying 2 here. She does get an improvement even. And the final car across the line will be Emil Nilsson in 11th. He does not improve, and that should be Q1 done and dusted. We're just waiting for the confirmation, unless
I think he's probably gonna head to the pit, so I think that will be qualifying 1 over and done with. Yeah.
Yep. Q1 done and dusted then. Alfred Klaus surprisingly leads Jesper Johansson in Q1, and your bottom 5 will be Jafari Blackwood, followed by Josef Fredrik Schuto, Julia Cesetti, Victor Albom, and Daniel Wale. So, yeah, that's Q1 over. Bit of a shame to see that Blackwood couldn't make it through into Q2, especially considering his quite good performances recently. But I have to say, it's looking like quite a standard Q1, I have to say.
Yeah, I think the thing that kind of surprised me most was that both Album and Valle both were outperformed by both Williams, who were by far the worst cars in qualifying, and to get themselves down 19 and 20 respectively is kind of a bit of a disappointment to both of them in regards to their qualifying performances and their race performances. So they got a lot of work to do heading into a 49-mile race.
Yeah, we'll see what they're going to be able to pull out. One man, though, I was a bit surprised over was Franco Gamba in 15th. In the Renault, was just about on the edge of being eliminated, and it was very, very lucky it wasn't. But it makes you wonder what Renault were trying in Q1.
Yeah, but it's amazing that only one of the drivers actually did that, because if you compare that to Kulisic, who was he's actually in the top he's in the top 5 or the top 10 at least, and his really good performance so far from Kulisic as well. So for Gamba to be down there, it's a bit of a worry, and especially given his performances so far this season. But alas, maybe Renault was just focusing on one driver, which you'll see how that strategy pans out in Q2. Another strong actually mentioned too is actually Scuderia Ferrari's performance. Actually, they've actually got themselves into the top 10 and very comfortably so. So maybe we could see them push themselves into qualifying 3. I don't think we have seen a Q3 appearance from both Ferraris in a long time, actually.
Yeah, I at least can't remember to. I at least can't seem to remember the last time we had 2 Ferraris in Q3 this season. But yeah. Both Ferraris, strong qualifiers, as we do know. So we'll see what they're going to be able to pull out of the hat. Either way, we've got Samet Özkan, who is out on track at the moment in his navy blue and white Alpha Tauri. Great to see him back on track, obviously, after his very, very scary accident at Spa. But yeah, lovely to have him back, and he has been performing quite well on his return too.
Yeah, absolutely. As Sam Oscar will go ahead and complete the first of the fastest laps, though. We've got quite a lot actually to talk about heading into next season as well, with brand new teams coming in and with new tracks as well. This is next season was actually sure to be an exciting one for sure.
Yeah, it'll really be interesting to see how all these guys are going to perform. But Jamie, Samet Özkan's just about to start his lap. Would you like to take us through a lap at the Portimao circuit?
Thank you very much, Miran. We're going to head down to the start-finish straight, though, here, and they're going to head down through turn 1. It's a nearly flat out, but it needs to be very composed here for turn 1 in Prima. And then it's a nearly flat out through turn 2, though. You need to get very wide here, heading to turn 3 in one of the tightest corners here in Lagos. After Lagos here, it comes up a little bit uphill. You need to keep it on track there and keep it in there for the fourth corner here, and then it's a small straightaway now, and then we head down to the second sector. It's the second of the hairpins now in Tori Vip. Keep it very composed and get a very good exit here, as you need to carry a lot of speed through turn 6. Turn 6 will then go a bit downhill, and then it's going to be a slight lift off the pedal, and then press it hard again, but then you need to brake hard for this corner here and turn it up Samsung, and then it's going to be a bit uphill. Once it goes uphill, then it's going to go down through turn 9 in Craig Jones, which has a memorial outside the start finish straight here, and then it's going to be also nearly flat turn 10, but keep it very in the inside line in turn 11. Turn 12, it's going to be a swooper and then uphill, and then it's going to be another brake hard for a blinding hairpin of turn 13. After turn 13, it's another slow straight, and then it's going to be a more relaxed hairpin of turn 14 of Sagres. And then after Sagres, so you need to get a very good wide exit here, and then it's virtually fouled for turn 15 of Galp here. Keep it all to the inside line, and then you need to get a very good outline for the start-finish straight here, which comes uphill, and then it goes flat again. Sama Oscar will go ahead and complete the lap in a provisional 1 minute 22.375.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. I have to say, though, the Portimao circuit really is one of my favorite tracks on the calendar, just because of how challenging it is for the drivers and the car as well. But yeah, it is a circuit like none other, especially considering unlike many modern facilities, it's just molded into the landscape, considering elevation and corners and everything. So it really is a very unique circuit, and it's a fantastic one as well.
I think what's very magic about this track is that no corner can be similar to anything else. All of them have got a very different nature of how the corners are meant to be driven, and you can't compare one to another. You can't compare turn 8 to turn 14, for example, because they've all got a difference in elevation, the tarmac and the racing line, and the speed that you carry through these corners here. And in a car as fast as Formula 1, and the elevation changes that come on top of that with the different profiles of corners, it's really, really exciting, and these drivers really need to keep their attention as quick as they possibly can, especially in a race setting for sure.
Yeah, I have to say this track really is like nothing else on the Formula 1 calendar. And yeah, it's a shame F1 doesn't come here in real life anymore. But yeah, one of my favorite tracks, in my opinion. As we're just having the first provisional times coming in on the board now. We're waiting for... There's Laban Zasnishka across the line, and I do believe Gamba hasn't set a lap. No, McIntyre hasn't set a lap, but that is all the first 15 times on the board then. Johansson leads Parachki, and your bottom 5 will be Özkan, Teresnia, Farina, Konishina, and Nilsson. So the Ferrari Q3 dream that we were talking about seems a bit unlikely at the moment, as Zasnishka is just barely holding on to the top 10 at the moment. But Tomas Mandic, a very, very good third at the moment.
Yeah, he's actually faster than both of the Red Bulls, but can't say much though in regards to the Red Bulls' kind of status in regards to qualifying 2. They don't seem to be very care very much about qualifying 2, only care about whenever unleashing it out though. But as a very surprise for the Ferraris, who did really well in qualifying 1 to be down like in 10th and 13th respectively, and Luca Farina's currently in the pits, won't set in improvements at the minute. But as you've said, Suzuki is just holding to P10 for the for just about heading by a thread at the moment, and with Ochgan and Teresnia behind him as well, which are all very capable to put their cars in. It could be a bit of a trouble for the Serbian to keep that Ferrari into Q3.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if Ferrari can excel here, obviously considering Ferrari are race winners around this track, as Osnishka goes up into 8th with a 1:22.1, looking a bit better for the Serbian, as Kai Chereznia joins him in the top 10 as he goes up into P9, now knocks Franco Gamba into the elimination zone.
Yep, so that'll probably be a better pressure there for Franco Gobber to join his teammate Kulic. He's currently running in 7th respectively for Renault to join him along with Eric. Franco Gamba's been actually doing a really good run of performances so far, actually. It's really surprising to see that Renault's sort of having like the second half term of what Racing Point had in the first half in regards to being up there in the front half. But alas, they haven't quite got qualifying quite nailed as they have done in the previous races here. And with Franco Gamba, who is the epitome of showing that Renault can be the best of the rest, down at 11th, whilst Kulic is 7th, it's quite surprising, to be honest.
Yeah, it is quite weird to see, but Gamba, I have to say, on his day, he's a fantastic driver, but he usually does have a bit of up and down performances quite a lot, as we're looking at Laban Zasnishka then, who's going to come across the line to finish yet another lap. Let's see if the Ferrari driver can improve, as he's about 700. So Wojtek Kulasek at the moment is 7th. So he goes across the line. It's no improvement for Laban Zasnishka, so he stays in P8. As there, I think, was Emilia Konishina coming out of the pit lane. The Polish woman who currently is in 14th. Don't believe she's made it into Q3 this season. I think she might have sometime, but I'm not very sure. But she has been quite unlucky this season. A lot of crashes, and a majority of those have also been outside of her control. So, yeah, not the luckiest season for Konishina at the moment.
No, absolutely not. I think the problem is whenever you start in the back or the lower back, you kind of have that advantage taken away with you because you've got so many cars ahead of you and all the dirty air that's produced in tracks like this, for example. It's going to be very hard to catch and lead with that. But in her day, whenever she's really good, you can find herself always climbing up the field. But I think Konnichiwa will still be happy with the performances that she's had so far, given its unluckiness, and I think she will be fine for next season in regards to her seat options.
Yeah, as this could be a bit interesting. Kulasek, at the moment on the track, is being held up by his teammate Franco Gamba. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a bit shocking. Vojta will not be too happy with his teammate at the moment.
I don't think there was anything much to worry about, Maran, because Kulic is comfortably into Q3. But what is this? Luca Farina is having trouble with a Mercedes. I think that might be Enes Parachka. I'm thinking, no, it's Jesper Johansson.
Yeah, that's the number one. As Farina is going to get ahead of him. No, Johansson's actually going to bounce back, as they will be side by side. Johansson, yeah, the rear end stepped out there for the Swede, as these guys are having a proper battle here in qualifying. Johansson does get past the Italian in the Ferrari, though. Someone tell these guys it's only qualifying. Either way, it's going to hamper them quite a lot on their flying laps.
Yeah, that's just going to be a sign of things to come heading into the race as well. And these boys here are just only giving a glimpse of this is only just qualifying 2 at the minute. This does not help Luca Farina's time though. I don't think he'll have any time to set an improvement though. But we shall see. Maybe with Johansson ahead, maybe he can set a bit of improvement due to the slipstream. Obviously, not going to be improvement for the Italian though, as qualifying 2 comes to an end. Fernando Tost heads into the pits, but Laban's the next guy. He's going to come over to the start-finish straight, I believe. Yes, he will. Is there going to be any more improvements for the Ferrari driver?
Yeah, it's going to be tight, though, as everyone in the elimination zone, bar Nilsson, as Konishina goes across the line, she can't do it. It's only going to be P12 for Emilia Konishina, still a pretty good qualifying considering where her teammate ended up. But yeah, Chereti and McIntyre in the pit lane, so if any of these guys do get themselves into the top 10, Lewis McIntyre will be confirmed out, as we're looking at Samet Özkan currently in 13th, and he's coming into the pit. So AlphaTauri, both
Whoa.
AlphaTauris were knocked out.
Whoa, that's quite a shocker given that their qualifying performances, both AlphaTauris out on Q2. That is such a surprise. I'm genuinely shocked, actually.
Yeah, that is a massive shock, especially considering how great of a season they've been having. As Franco Gamba is going to go across the line, let's see if the Italian is going to be able to improve and get himself into
He does it!
Q2. Yes, he does. I mistakenly said Q2, but Franco Gamba rockets up into 6th, and that is going to knock Lewis McIntyre, shockingly, out of Q3 here.
Gee, that's really good improvement there from Franco Gamba as well. It's going to do wonders as well for the championship standings. But as long as if he continues that performance though, heading into qualifying 3 though, but that's good because both Renaults, we were worried that maybe one Renault may not get into Q3. Actually, both of them are going to get themselves into Q3, and this is exactly the signs that they need. As Emily Kosinchia heads into the pits, that will conclude qualifying 2.
Yeah, Mercedes 1-2 in Q2 then. It seems to have swung in favor of the Silver Arrows, as your bottom 5 will be Lewis McIntyre, followed by Emilia Konechina, Samet Özkan, Luca Farina, and Emil Nilsson. So we were talking about how Q1 was quite regular. I have to say Q2 does feel quite unorthodox. McIntyre and the McLaren knocked out. We know he's been a great qualifier this season. You had the 2 AlphaTauris as well, who constantly have been impressing. And then Luca Farina as well will be starting all the way down in P14.
Yeah, it just seems that ever since Lewis McIntyre's second place in Tuscany, it just never seems to be in his favor, does he? If this continues on, he might be in for a 4th consecutive non-point finish. And if Kai Chirestia and Franco Gamba, who are like 1 point different away from each other, they get themselves a very good race result here, then he can see his 6th place position being knocked out by one of those drivers.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, but I have to say the teammate differences in this qualifying have been quite immense. Yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen. Either way, I have to say a good effort from Emilia Konechina, although it's no Q3 appearance for the Polish driver. A P12 should still be a pretty good starting position for the race, as we're now here for Q3, the 3rd and final stage of qualifying, as the shootout for pole position will begin. Currently all cars are in the garage, so guess we're just waiting a bit. Oh, there we go. There is the Renault of Wojtek Kulasek, and he will be the first man out on track. One of the OGs, as I guess you would call him, has been in Formula 1 since 2017 and has stayed with Renault ever since 2017. Wouldn't say he has achieved anything spectacular at this track. In 2017, he came home pointless. In 2018, he had a P8 finish here, and last season, he did finish, I believe he did finish in the points here as well, back in 2018. No, he didn't, so this isn't really the best of tracks for Vojta, but we'll see if he can change the trend here in 2020. But yeah, it's pretty interesting, especially to see that the 2 Renaults are in Q2, so we'll have a proper fight in the midfield now between the 2 Renaults, the lone McLaren and the Ferrari as well.
Yeah, absolutely as well. For with that weird timing that they had to release Kudicic and Franco Gamba in the same time in qualifying 2 is quite interesting of a tactic. But I guess they've learnt their lesson now, because Franco Gamba is nowhere near to be seen whenever Kudicic is going to start his fly lap now. And in the background there is the Red Bull. He's going to be on his out lap now, which doesn't affect Kudicic, which is good. But yeah, Kudicic is actually one of the more experienced drivers here on this track here. He's got like about the same hours racing here on the track as Jesper Johansson does, and given the performance that Kulisic has at the moment, really strong qualifying performance from him, which we have not seen so far from him this season. And Jesper Johansson's currently in P1. Maybe experience here puts an edge. Maybe it gives them an advantage here for Algarve, and especially given that the elevation and the amount of corners that have for a driver to navigate as well. It's quite easy for a new driver to be discombobulated and disorientated.
Oi, oi, oi.
Jesus. Oh my word. He saved it, which is good. But that's going to put on a hammer blow to Gulisic's provisional time at the moment. And given that it's only a short qualifying session here, I think it's ruined his chances of a good position, actually.
Yeah, and while this track is quite an exciting one, it can be cruel as well. This track, as I did mention, has always been a challenge for the drivers, and just one simple mistake can throw you off like that. But yeah, he was lucky not to spin the car around or anything, so he's at least able to catch it. It's going to be a 1:22.9 for Kulasek. Cherezhnia goes immediately faster as the two Mercedes cars now slot in with their times. Jesper Johansson 2/10 ahead of his teammate. Question will be, where are the two Red Bulls going to slot in?
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting here because qualifying space, whenever we see Red Bull entirely unleashed, either entirely unleashed or they're going to look utterly hopeless. Remember back at the time whenever Franco Gamba actually managed to out-qualify one of the Red Bulls here. That's a bit of a shocker, but we'll see how this will turn out here because Dennis Graff and Alpha Class have got quite a lot of work to do. 32 points between them and the Mercedes boys in the standings at the minute for the Black Arrows. Black Arrows, not Silver Arrows, man. Let's get that right straight. But Dennis Graff goes fourth, which is slower than Kai Cherezhny, actually. Really surprising there from the former championship leader.
Yeah, that is not too optimal for Dennis Graff.
5 tenths slower. And
Yep.
Mandic as well. Whoa. Mandic is actually slower than his teammate. That's really surprising.
Yeah, Toss is going to go into P9. Wow, that is a howler from Fernando. 1:23.3. He is 4/10 slower than Wojtek Kulasek, who we saw make a mistake on his lap, so I don't know what's gone wrong for him. Alfred Klaus can only manage third, as it is looking to be quite dominant spell for Mercedes here. Enes Parachki, though, does inch closer to Johansson, as he is only about under 400ths of a second behind his world champion teammate.
Yeah, well, it's going to be very controversial. Parachki ends up taking pole from Jesper Johansson, but so whenever Parachki takes pole, he's out of this world. Same case for Johansson, though. Whenever they're in their prime, nobody can really touch them, though. But Dennis Graff is going to go in across the line. He really, really needs to get some breather room here in order for improvements. He does not improve. He still stays fifth.
Red Bull have messed it up big time here at Portimao. Mercedes, I have to say, they're looking untouchable. Unless Graf or Klaus can pull up, unless Graf or Klaus can pull out an incredible lap, I do think it is going to be Mercedes pole for the taking here.
Gamba is exactly 100th slower than Dennis Graff. That is amazing. Jesus, I'm absolutely shocked as well. And Kulisich is going to go ahead out of the last corner. He's done a bit of good improvement though, and he's got the whoever has the toe. Klaus has the toe of Kulisich at the minute as they're going to go and cross the line. This may give Klaus a bit of improvement for him. Is it going to be? No, it won't have it. But Kulisich does improve, and he gets himself up into 8th. So Enes Parachki, he still remains in second at the minute as we head into the 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go here in qualifying 1. Oh, this is very exciting, man. I must say.
It is going to be quite exciting. One man we should mention, Kai Cherezhny, who currently is in the pit lane, well, he won't be improving, but currently he is a brilliant P4. So great lap from the Polish driver. As Dennis Graf's going to go across the line, can he muster up an improvement? He can, but it's still going to be P5 for Graf. What is going on with the once so dominant Red Bull here at Portimao?
He's 2 tenths slower than his teammate and 5 tenths slower than Johansson. 5 tenths lower than his championship rival. That is absolutely absurd. And that's going to be a very big worry for Dennis Graff heading into the race, because if it's going to happen the same way as race pace, then I'm afraid Dennis Graff is going to be actually in a bit of a worry. And this is might be actually Jesper Johansson's race to lose.
Yeah, it's really just the worst timing of the season, really, to be so far off the pace of your championship rival, especially considering Johansson has taken the lead of the championship as Parachki comes in. So Enis Parachki is not gonna go for pole. I wonder if that might have to be relating to any team orders or anything, but we'll see. As Dennis Groff still out
I
on
think
track after checker flag falls.
I think he's going to head to the pits. I think he's had too many runs. I don't think this one's going to be fast enough, to be honest. But we shall see, though. Uh, yeah. So far the top four. Yeah,
And he's
he's
in.
coming. He's at. He's in. So he's not going to improve any further. So that means all the top five has pitted. So that means the ones in top five are the ones that are going to be for the start of the race at least, or they won't improve on their times. Labin Sejnicka is going to cross the line as a sole Ferrari driver. He remains in ninth. And for Fernando Tost is still in the 123. He hasn't improved, so he must have made a big mistake then in his first run that he didn't end up improving on it. But Franco Gamba, who's actually breathing distance from Dennis Graf, he could roll a pretty big upset here. The Italian driver crosses the line. Ooh, it's not an
No
improvement quite
improvement.
enough though. He remains in sixth. But the other teammate of the Renault, Pulisic, who's done a very good aid, he comes to this pit now. So I think that concludes. I believe that concludes the third qualifying session, and Jesper Johansson is in pole position.
Yeah, great stuff from Jesper once again. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot to do for Dennis Graf then here at Portimao as Johansson secures his first pole around the Portimao circuit. But yeah, Jesper Johansson is on pole position for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Very, very interesting. But I have to say, one team we should talk about is Renault, because I think they did absolutely fantastic here in Q3. 6th and 8th is a very, very good result, especially considering they are still somewhat fighting the likes of McLaren and Racing Point for 5th. I mean, they're currently, I wouldn't say McLaren, or I wouldn't say Racing Point, but they're fighting at least Ferrari for P5 in the championship at the moment.
Yeah, they have definitely improved so much heading into the second half of the season, though, as they get themselves into regular qualifying three appearances with Franco Gamba and Kulisic. An improvement is really good. Kulisic was at once up in fourth in qualifying one, but they can still be happy with a sixth and eighth, respectively. Racing Point, though, seems to have been revitalized as they are fourth and seventh, respectively, which very strong showings from Kai Treshny and Thomas Mandic.
Yeah, really great qualify from Kai Sheresnia. The pole has once again pulled out a brilliant performance. Mandic as well, doing very, very good in the points. Currently, we'll see what they're going to be able to do in the race. As I think Alfred Klaus, if he isn't able to get the two Mercs at the start, we could see Cheresnia try and fight for the podium even.
Yeah, well, we shall see how that happens, though, because the Mercedes are going to be a very first one to fight. And as we've seen before in previous races here, it's all about getting yourselves in a good position at the start, because that dictates the pace and the grips for the rest of the race and the battles that come after it as well. So it's going to be Kai Chereznia's mission to get himself as close as he can to Klaus and Parachki if he wants to get himself for a good podium position, in which case he'll get his he could be in a chance for a second podium position since the Italian Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what's going to happen. But Johansson and Parachki, I would say, I wouldn't discount them to battle amongst each other. You think last season, Parachki started on pole, but it would be Johansson to take the race win. In fact, I actually don't think we've ever had, bar 2018, we've never had a winner from pole here. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see, because there's a lot of weight that's been lifted off the shoulders of Mercedes now. Whenever your championship rivals all the way down at fifth, and it looks like the constructor standings is pretty much settled at that point. So you can expect to see the both Mercedes drivers to fight each other. So it will surely be an interesting Black Arrows duel here for Portimao.
Yes, as we are now here on the starting grid for the 2020 Portuguese Grand Prix, as it will be Jesper Johansson taking pole position here at Portimao and making it a Mercedes front row, as it's Enis Parachki who will be starting in second. Alfred Klaus starts third with Kai Cherezny, a brilliant P4 for the Polish driver, as Dennis Graf will have quite a bit to do now as he starts in P5. P6 will be Franco Gamba. Very, very well done from the Italian, as the Tomas Mandic takes 7th position with Wojtek Kulasek, his former teammate, in P8. Laban Zasniczka will take 9th, as Fernando Tost in the McLaren will round out the points.
The second of the McLarens of Lewis McIntyre, sole British driver, he starts at 11th and fall behind him. It's a very good performance from her. Emilia Kuznickia, Alfa Romeo driver, starts in 12th. Behind her, it is Samet Özkan. It's very interesting to see both AlphaTauris outside of the qualifying 3. Starts 13th. 14th, disappointing for Luca Farino. Once again, the Italian starts 14th, and 15th is the second of the AlphaTauris in Emmy Nilsson. He starts in 15th. 16th, it was Jafari Blackwood. Good performance, but didn't allow a Q2 performance. He's in 16th. Number 17th is Joshua Frederick Suto. 18th is Julie Sassetti. Both of the Williams drivers are 17th, 18th respectively. 19th is Victor Albon. Pretty surprising for him. He starts in 19th. And 20th, a very distant 20th actually, is the second of the Alfa Romeo drivers of Daniel Valle in 20th. And that will round out the grid for the Portuguese Grand Prix.
Yeah, so let's get underway then for the 2020 Portuguese Grand Prix. Jesper Johansson on pole position as we have 6 lights. And we're underway here at Portimao. Good start for Parachki there in second. He could immediately try and start to challenge Johansson for the race lead, and he does it even before turn 1. He's there on the inside line, but Johansson's going to fight back as Chereznia is fighting Klaus into turn number 4 here. Johansson's going to swing around the outside as the 2 black arrows immediately battle, but Johansson will get him and defend the race lead, but Parachki is not letting it go as he's going to send one to the inside line. He does it late on the brakes for Parachki as they're still side by side, as this could throw a spanner in the works for Jesper Johansson. He desperately doesn't want his teammate going past as he is fighting for a championship here. Parachki though can't do it as they head uphill.
Oh my word, oh my god, he's nearly on the inside of him. Whoa, it's heading into sector 2 now, and that's Kai Chereznia overtaking but Klaus.
And Klaus is still going to hang on to it. Chereznia actually got a massive heading through the left-hander there, but he does it. Kai Chereznia is up into 3rd, and he's overtaken Alfred Klaus. Take a bow. Kai Chereznia in the racing points, but Graf
is in 7th.
Yeah, Dennis Graf has an absolute howler of a start. Meanwhile, Jafari Blackwood is absolutely enjoying himself at the moment as he's fighting Samet Özkan for P14. He's going to go around the outside through Galp. Let's see if he's going to be able to get this done, as the 2 will be wheel to wheel, then heading down the start-finish straight as well. But yeah, very, very hectic start then.
Yeah, absolutely as well. They're still going to be side by side heading into lap 2, though. Still not going to give each other an insta. Blackwood and Ochkan. Blackwood is having an amazing first lap so far. He's going to use the outside of turn 1. Ochkan just gets a bit untied there, but Jafari Blackwood gains 2 positions in 1 lap. Very impressive, the Haas driver though, and he's, whoa, my goodness me, and he's got Tostin Farina on his sights now. My word, what an exciting first lap we've had. And look at this, Johansson and Parachki are now 7th. Oh my god, Johansson is 7/10 already faster than Parachki.
Yeah, absolutely incredible, but what an opening battle we were treated to between Jesper Johansson and Enis Parachki. But we'll see if things are going to kick off when the DRS starts to get enabled. Chereznia is in that pack as well, about 7/10 from Parachki at the moment, and Klaus is still, I guess he's a bit frustrated over Chereznia taking away his podium spots. But I didn't think I'd be saying this today, but currently both Red Bulls are outside the podium. Can't remember the last time that was the case.
It's probably a very long time ago, probably in Tuscany Grand Prix, whenever both of them retired. But in regards to not retirements, this is actually a shocking, actually. But Gamba and Kulisic, though, they've done exactly what they needed to do, and they got themselves into 5th and 6th, respectively, which give themselves an impressive points haul for Renault, and they look like to be in a very good position to stand there. Meanwhile, all this fighting is going to take off now as McIntyre's going to try and look at Emily Kuznickia. Oh, she's actually up into the points, actually, which is a really good performance from her, and it's exactly what she needs, and she keeps fending it off from McIntyre, just goes a bit wide, and is going to be under challenge from Luca Farina.
Yeah, Konishina's had a fantastic start. She's gotten herself up into 10th, which is great to see, and she is on the back of Laban Sasnishka in 9th as well. But the field's still very, very close together. Kaicher Rezhnia has fallen outside of a second to Enis Parachki, which is not optimal for the Polish driver, considering he has got Alfred Klaus there behind, who is going to have the DRS. So Chereshny is going to have to fight for his life to defend for that podium, I'd say.
Yeah, Gamba, I think, might also be in the same problem that Klaus might have. I think he was nearly up to a second, though, but we shall see how that pans out, though. But there's still going to be little battles left, right, and center all over around the track here, and you can all see the potential ones here on your timing screen at the moment here, and it's really going to be very exciting here as the races pan out, though. But Parachki and Johansson still have got unfinished business now, as Parachki now has the benefit of the DRS now to catch up to Johansson.
Is he going to be able to try anything? I don't think so, but as we have finished the first lap with DRS, Enis Parachki does set the fast lap of the race, as here goes Lewis McIntyre once again onto Emilia Konishina as the two go side by side. Konishina defends the outside line, though, through turn 2, and McIntyre can't do anything to get himself back into the points, and thus Konishina will keep her 10th position.
Yeah, and McIntyre just once again goes just a little bit wide, which is not a very good exit, though, and that's going to allow him need to catch up to Kozinchia once again. But she's been doing really good defending for McIntyre so far, who's in a obviously much faster car. She's holding to that P10 for her life, and it's a very good performance from her so far. But Parachki is now all over catched up now to Jesper Johansson now. It's now 1.3 seconds now between Parachki and Chereshnya now. But you can see this fight coming up very soon.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see these two battle. I don't think we have had a proper race lead battle between these two since the Malaysian Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think you might be right, actually.
Yeah, but it is going to be very, very nice to see these two go at it. Johansson obviously will want to win this for the championship, and Parachki, who himself has made incredible gains to close in on both Groff and Johansson for the championship, will be wanting to grab the maximum amount of points in these remaining 5 races in the season.
Yeah, absolutely as well. I'm pretty sure Mercedes will let them fight in regards to Grass' position down in 7th, so it'll be very interesting to see how that battle will turn out as well, especially if we've only got about 31 laps to go, so it's still going to be a long game for both of them. So I think both of them need to think about strategically about which one will be best to their advantage in regards to whether to be aggressive or defensive here. Obviously, Parachki is trying to overtake Johansson as quickly as he possibly can because he's still over the back of him. Meanwhile, Chereshny is almost 2 seconds now in a matter of 4 laps, which is not like worrying for Chereshny, but it does show that in its day, Mercedes are absolutely unstoppable here. And well, this is definitely the message that they need, and for the final European race of the calendar.
Yeah, they really are on fire at the moment. Johansson and Parachki. Mercedes are looking utterly strong around this track. I have to say, Red Bull are barely even able to keep up, especially Dennis Groff, who is stuck in 7th. That is really not the result that he needs, as Parachki is going to have the DRS engaged now, heading down the start-finish straight as we round turn number 15. DRS enabled for Enis Parachki, and he is closing, but I don't think he will be close enough just yet to Jesper Johansson heading into turn number 1, and he isn't.
Yeah, I think the interesting nature of this track is that it's only got, I believe, only has 1 DRS section. Now McIntyre's going to look down for the inside of Emilia Kozinchia once again, and to no avail for the Polish woman as she perseveres once again. Still got Luca Farina behind him though, but alas, nothing has come to fruition. Oh, just yet. Luca Farina has a look down the inside, but to no avail. Kozinchia is still in P10.
Yeah, there wasn't much. McIntyre could do there. Just isn't able to get close enough to Konishina. I have to say, is doing a very good job in 10th at the moment, as Parachki is still chasing down Johansson through turn number 10 they go, and now down into 12. It's going to be interesting to see if Enis is going to be able to get close enough to Jesper Johansson.
I think as this race pans out, I think one of the surprises was it's actually Olsgaard Nielsen They're 15th and 16th respectively, which, given the AlphaTauri standards at the moment, is quite surprising that none of them actually are in the position to score any points so far.
Yeah, it is very, very strange. It's gonna be the last time, discounting Özkan's injury, obviously. The last time both Özkan and Nilsson went pointless was all the way back to the Belgian Grand Prix. So these guys have been in the points together for quite a while. So it is a very, very weird to see both of them outside the points.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be something to take account for in regards to AlphaTauri's position, because we could have seen them as potential late time midfield challenges for Renault or McLaren even. But alas, I think the upgrades from Renault and McLaren have kind of caught up to them, and best all they can do now is 15th and 16th at the moment, which is well, you know, given AlphaTauri's midway rise, it's a bit disappointing, but alas, it's how the season progresses. You win in teams, sometimes you win some and others you lose some. But yeah, currently we're looking back between Franco Gamba and Kulisek. Actually, Gamba's all over the back of Alpha Klaus. This is not exactly what Alpha Klaus had in mind. He wants to be challenging Kai Treznia, but it's now a second between him and his podium challenger. So he's got the Renaults to worry about, actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be very, very interesting to see what is gonna happen. But Klaus is, as you said, he's just not able to challenge. As there goes Dennis Graf onto Wojtek Kulasek. The two are gonna go side by side as Graf desperately needs points this race, but Kulasek does defend from the world champion.
Great move there from Kulisek as well. Once again, a great defense from him as Dennis Graf tries to look for a new way to try and overtake the Czech Republic driver at the moment. But there's a bit of a distance there between the Renaults and the Italian, so could be playing the team game to get Graf as way from possible from Gamba as possible, and Kulisek is probably the sacrifice in regards to that strategy for Renault. But meanwhile, up in the front now, Prats is the closest I think he's been to Johansson so far. Surely they're going to make a move in the next in the start-finish straight for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be very, very interesting to see what's gonna happen as they just round turn number 14. Prats is gonna have to hope to get a good run out of this corner though, as he will now be properly chasing down Jesper Johansson. I think he's gonna have a very good shot heading into turn 1 here.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the benefit of the DRS section here, or the fact the only DRS section here at the moment here is going to be close. I think he might actually be close enough. He's going to use the inside line heading to turn 1. I don't think it's the fastest one, but if he keeps his teammate out, maybe it could be a chance, which it doesn't happen to any avail. Ooh, that was Graf just making a move on Kulisek, and Kulisek just once again gives him no room, which keeps Kulisek ahead for now as Graf goes a bit wide, and he's got Mandic and Sisnitchkai to now worry about. My God.
Ooh, I think that was, Toast going very, very wide in the background, but Johansson being able to defend from Parachki and Graf still unable to get past Wojtek Kulasek. It's a shame for Dennis Graf, really, but I think this indicates the fact that hostilities have properly begun between the two Mercedes drivers.
Yeah, given the status of the championship already, and in their minds, I think the constructors' title is already pretty much sealed for the Black Arrows. I think nothing can be lost now if Parachki and Johansson fight. Well, more so for Parachki than for Johansson. Johansson's still got the drivers' championship to worry about, and as we've seen before, the fierce rivalry between Klaus and Johansson. Johansson has just got the championship lead, and he definitely does not want to lose any sort of momentum, and winning this race will surely bring a statement to Dennis Graf about that at the moment. But alas, we shall see. We shall see how the battle turns out. It's still going to be very close between Parachki and Johansson, though, with Parachki still not making a move since lap 8.
Yeah, as here comes Lewis McIntyre on to Emilia Konechina once again. Bit of a poor move from McIntyre, as he just didn't seem to have any sort of heading whatsoever. Yeah, that's Farina having a look on the outside line of McIntyre. but I don't think he's able to complete the move. He's going to have the slipstream on the McLaren, though. Will he try anything heading into turn number 5? He's there on the inside line, and he is going to go up and alongside the McLaren as Farina's going to try to take 11th away from the Brit, but it's going to be McIntyre who holds ahead for the time being.
That was really close for comfort there for McIntyre there. He just about gave Luca Farina just about enough of a car width there. But Luca Farina is still over the back of Lewis McIntyre though. But as with the the nature of the track, that's Graf trying to make a move on Kulisic still. Is going to try and use the outside line through turn 12. It's turn 12. And then it's going down into turn 13 at the moment there. Graf still does not make a move on Kulisic still at the moment. That was his best chance now. And has got Thomas Mandic now to worry about now. Dennis Graf, who's been trying to chase P6, could be the chance for being back down into P8 from Thomas Mandic as well, who's as close as he's ever been actually at the moment. But here comes Graf now. He's going to have the DRS section once again for Kulisic as well. I think he's going to got enough of the speed now to do it. Heading down into turn 1. And Kulisic still, he still holds it at the minute. And Graf is trying to look down. He's going to go a bit wide, and will that allow for Thomas Mandic? Mandic tries to have a look, but alas, Graf did not go wide enough for Mandic to try and have a look down on the outside line. But a very fierce battle between these three, I must say.
Yeah, and all of this brings Lamas Osnishka in 9th, closer to this ginormous battle for P6 at the moment, as Thomas Mandic will be wanting to try and get past the world champion, which is something that Dennis Graf desperately doesn't need at the moment to go down yet another position in this race.
Yeah, speaking of which, it's kind of surprising to see Franco Gamba still in that grip. He's ever since the Nürburgring as well. Whenever we've seen him, like he's up there, he's still consistently up there. He's in 5th along with Klaus and Teresnio, which is very surprising for him. He's still not like away from like a second from them, so he's still in that grip, which is really good for him. Which means that a podium could still be in the cards for Renault if the circumstances ever turned right for them. But alas, we headed to lap 11 out of 35 here. Very, very exciting race so far, I must say.
Oh, and I think Mandic is going to go into Graf here.
Oh my word.
Because Dennis fell out of the DRS range, and Mandic is going to try to take opportunity of this as they head through turn number 2. Mandic is going to be up and alongside.
He does it.
And he's got it. Mandic has actually gotten Dennis Graf for P7. I can't believe it. Graf has gone down yet another position. It is an absolute nightmare for the world champion here at the moment. And Lamas Osnishkai is knocking on the door.
He's going to do down the inside line.
And he's going to try to make it stick here as they head through turn number 5. They're just about equal on exit as Osnishka is just about a tiny bit ahead on the Red Bull driver, heading up into turn number 8 though. So Osnishka gets the better exit around the outside, and Graf is going to go down yet another position. I can't believe it as Lamas Osnishka is up into 8th. It is truly a nightmare for Dennis Graf here at Portimao. The track which he once sealed a championship at, it might just fall away for him 4 years later.
Oh my god, Graf lost 2 positions in the match on for 1 lap. That is absolutely shocking regarding to this is a championship leader contention we're talking about, and he's already lost 2 positions as well. That's 4 points lost in regards to the championship fight though, and Johansson is still comfortably ahead of Parachki now. It's definitely Jesper is absolutely comfortable ahead of the lead now in the championship now as it stands at the moment here. There's absolutely no way that Johansson can battle us right now.
And obviously this will be prime opportunity for Jesper Johansson. Now he has another he has a bit more means to try and fight for the race lead, because he's going to want to have the biggest gap possible over Dennis Graf, especially now that his rival has absolutely faltered in this race and will be scoring at the moment only 2 points.
Yeah, I think Emilia might actually be catching up to Dennis Graf. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but if that's the case, then an Alfa Romeo overtaking Dennis Graf, oh my... Just thinking about just makes my brain hurt. But, oh no. But as we'll come back here to the front of the fight though, Parachki and Johansson, though, it's still within half a second between each other though, and Parachki still has not made any moves since 3-4 laps ago at the minute. But they need to kind of do it quickly because Kai Tresny is actually catching up to them at the minute, which was 2.2 seconds, is now down to 1.8 seconds.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Imagine that. Johansson, Paratsky, v Chereznia. That is if Kai is able to catch up, but he might have Alfred Klaus there behind to worry about. Either way, as you said, Emilia Konishina is somehow gaining on Dennis, but I really don't know. Is he on a wrong setup, or I don't know what the case is with Dennis Graf at the moment, but the pace is just absolutely not there for the German.
No, absolutely. I agree with you. It's a complete shock in regards to his driving styles and whatnot, but to see him all the way down, struggling in regards to midfield cars, which are obviously much faster, have a his Red Bull is actually faster and has a better downforce here, which is key aspects needed for this track as well. So it could be a mixture of either a setup or it could be in regards to driver behavior, the performance that he currently has at the minute. It may wander for Dennis Graff at the moment as the standings have changed for some reason. I have no idea why.
I didn't really see what changed, but yeah. At the
That's
moment,
just
though, it
provisional at the
is.
moment. It's like
Yeah.
32. It was like something like gap anyways between them each other. But Parachkin though has slightly fallen away from Johansson now. It's now down to more than half a second now between Parachkin and Johansson. So yeah, I think Johansson might actually be pulling away from the Macedonian driver at the minute. But Kai Chereznia, my word, he's still keeping that Red Bull behind his mirrors. That is absolutely amazing.
I have to say, a very heroic performance from Kai Chereznia. He's been keeping Alfred Klaus of all people at bay, as Jafari Blackwood is going to try to take another position here, as he's going to try to go on to Fernando Tost, but he's not able to do it, and he does get quite a poor exit though. Into turn 4, he covers off Summit Özkan, who was looking to have a move there on the Jamaican, so Blackwood will remain in 14th. Nice defending from Jafari.
Yeah, I think Jafar knew he was not going to get the position well, so he did his best to defend for Samet Oskan. So in that case, that was really good defending there from Jafar Blackwood as he currently maintains P14 at the moment there. But yeah, he's still trying to look his charge ahead as Fernando Tost is still struggling. That qualifying 3 performance that he had, it surely has shown signs that it's not actually his favorite track for the Polish driver. Down in the 13th, and both McLarens are actually gonna, if it keeps this way, they might actually end up pointless.
Yeah, it is quite a predicament for McLaren, especially considering they're still trying to fight Racing Point for P3 in the championship. Racing Point are just going to be absolutely pulling away with the P3, especially considering Cherezny is in 3rd at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely as well. I mean, whenever your closest rivals are outside the points and 8th and 12th respectively, sorry, Luca Farina, well, you've pretty much got the midfield battle pretty much sealed really at that point. But it's really no surprise because Racing Point has been producing absolutely amazing drives from both Mandic and Tereznia respectively, though Mandic did have his shine in the earlier half with consecutive podiums, and Kai Tereznia returned the favour with very good qualifying performances and really good race results that eventually led to a second place, I believe. So, no, it's not. It's a podium at the Italian Grand Prix at the minute. But who knows? Maybe it could change if he finishes in 3rd. And what a way to close up to the gap to your teammate as well. Because in the first half of the season, we thought it was quite surprising that Kai Chereshny was not actually doing as well as Mantic. But now the tides have changed now because Chereshny has been doing absolutely amazing so far. And he could be in a chance in the final closing stages of the season to actually maybe overtake his teammate in the driver standings for sure.
Yes, indeed. Kai Chereshny's late season charge has been absolutely incredible, to say the least. He's finally been able to show the pace that he hasn't been able to over these past few seasons, which is fantastic to see, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. And with a new team coming along and in the form of Aston Martin, it's going to be interesting to see how they will look in towards Kai Cherezny's and Tomas Mandic's seats heading in for next season, whether to retain them or to bring in some new signings. But that's pretty much going to be the case for all the teams so far. They're going to evaluate their drivers and see which one's going to be the best fit for them. And there's a lot of potential, a lot of hype in regards to some transfers, and some of them which will obviously be retained in regards to the performances they've had so far this season.
Yeah, I guess it'll be interesting to see how Racing Point will fare. As there's Klaus on to Chereznia. Speaking of Racing Point, Chereznia is going to be on the inside line. Klaus is going to try to take the long way round on Kai, as he's going to try to get himself up into the podium positions. Chereznia is just going to be about ahead, but that could be the mistake heading into turn number 15, because Alfred Klaus will now have the DRS on Chereznia. But look who's joining the fray. It is Franco Gamba in the Renault there in P5, as Klaus is going to go to the inside line of Chereznia, and I think he might get it done even before the corner, and he does get it done, and Alfred Klaus will take third away from Kai Chereznia, who has been battling for so long for that podium. It's finally slipped away from his hands, as Gamba now joins the battle.
Oh my word, that was McIntyre trying to make a move on Koznicia, and it might actually work this time, because got headed to the inside line. He slowly backs up, they nearly collide, and the Alfa Romeo driver still maintains P10 at the moment. That was probably Lewis McIntyre's best attempt at the minute there, but he's still got the slipstream heading to the straight now. It's going to be heading down into the hairpin now of turn 5 in Pure Vip. He's going to use the inside line, and there's not much Emily Koznicia can do. She's going to try and keep it on by the thread at the minute as they head down through sector 2 at the minute, but the McLaren speed is just too much. But McIntyre finally gets himself up into P10.
Might not be over. I think Konishina's having a bit of a look on McIntyre, who gets the slide though, and that unfortunately is gonna be the Polish Alfa Romeo drivers. It's going to see her fall out of the points, unfortunately, as Lewis McIntyre does nab 1 point for McLaren.
You know what's great? We haven't had any retirements so far this race, which is great for a change of pace, actually.
Don't jinx it. No, I'm joking. Yeah, it is fantastic. We haven't had any major incidents at this track, which is great to see, as Lamazas Nishkai might go into Thomas Mandic into turn number 1, as he's having a look on the inside, but I don't think he's close enough to the Croatian, and he isn't. And this will bring Dennis Graf just a tiny bit closer, as we're looking at Zasnichka team with Farina chasing down Emilia.
Oh my word, that was so close. Fernando Tost nearly spun Luca Farina, but luckily he's just known to steer just about enough to avoid the Italian driver, though. Pretty good avoidance there from Fernando Tost, though, but it's not done any favours for either Luca Farina or Tost, as they remain 12th and 13th respectively. God, that was close.
It was very, very close. A bit too close for comfort, maybe, but yeah, good thing it didn't result in any incident, as we're looking at Blackwood still chasing down Fernando Tost. Not being able to do anything at the moment. So...
He's still like, I feel like Jafar Black has just been trailing all over back of Fernando Tost, top Tost, since just lap 1. And it's just going to be very eventual until he just makes that move. But Chereznia is actually outside the DRS range of Alfred Klaus, so Alfred Klaus is definitely going to be on the aggressive now. Maybe a last sign of things to come, and it could be the last ditch effort that Red Bull need. And Franco Gamba is going to make the move, and Kai Chereznia takes down the inside line, but to no avail. Kai Chereznia currently remains 4th, and Franco Gamba 5th.
Yeah, so no change there, but a shame for Chereznia, as the podium might not happen for him, as we're looking at Luca Farina chasing down Emilia Konishina in the Alfa Romeo, the team which Farina formerly drove for, obviously, last season. So, yeah, Blackwood as well, trying to chase down Fernando Tost. Nothing happening there either. As I think
I think everyone's kind of calmed down now. I think they're going to try and regain their composure heading into the final stint. That was Johansson. I think that's going to be a major blow for Johansson now, because that's going to have an effect on his tyre wear now, so he's need to recalculate his strategy now. Could this be a blow for Johansson?
That was massive from Jesper Johansson, a major from the Swede, and that is going to bring Parashki so much closer. And as you said, that might ruin him a bit, because that might see Johansson try and tires a bit more towards the end of the race.
My word, that was such a big slide. I've never seen a slide like that in my entire life now. And Parachi's going to be all over the aggressive now on the Johansson now. Johansson knows this and he knows he's in trouble. He's going to be defending for all his life in the first sector now. And that's going to allow for Parachi to still be aggressive at the minute as they head down through the hairpin now and then out up into the second straight now. But this is really, really worrying for Johansson now because he's got about 15 laps now to handle those tires on very, very degraded. And with Parachi and Klaus and Teresny all behind him, it's going to be very, very worrying for Johansson. Shades of Hockenheim, I must say.
Indeed, if Klaus is able to close in now, if he starts picking up the pace towards these final few laps, as you said, Jamie, we could have a repeat of Hockenheim at our hands. But Enis Parachi is taking major advantage of this because when it comes to driver psychology, if one person makes a mistake, they're most likely to make another one shortly after. So Parachi is just going to pick up the pace now and try and make the most of his teammate's mistake here.
Yeah, it just seems that whenever a race is being held in the Iberian region, I don't think Johansson seems to be very, very good at keeping his composure. We've seen this before whenever he had a very uncharacteristic retirement here, about 500 kilometers away in the Circuit de Catalunya, where he retired due to being under pressure from Dennis Graff here. So it's very important that he doesn't retire the car, or at least doesn't lose his composure too much. But it's going to be very, very worrying for Johansson for sure.
Yeah, it is turning into a bit of a mare for Jesper Johansson, but we'll see. He's just going to have to perform the best of his defending capabilities here, as everyone is still in this little train behind Emilia Konechina. So nothing has really changed here.
Choo-choo. Shades of Jarno Trulli.
Yep. The Konechina Express, I guess you could call it, as Parachi is still chasing down Jesper Johansson, heading into turn number 11, the corner which Johansson did have his lockup. And this will most likely try and pressure Jesper into that corner the most as we head through turn number 13. And the start-finish straight is where Parachi is going to have his big chance.
And look at this, Alpha Klaus is already just caught up now. So what was once like 2.5 seconds is now down to 1.6 seconds now. So not only Johansson is hindering Parachi as well and Klaus, but if Klaus actually ends up getting caught up, then Kai Teresny might actually catch up once again as well. Here we go, Parachi is going to be in the best chance of taking P1 from Johansson as he possibly can. Heads down into turn 1, he's just not close enough to Jesper Johansson still at the minute though, but you can still see that Johansson is still just struggling for his life to try and get the grip onto those tires now. That slide has absolutely hindered him and he's going to be absolutely slow in the second and third sectors, which require a lot of grip for the elevation and the corners ahead. And that's where Parachi is going to exploit this to the most and catch up to him.
Oh my god, and I have to say one thing. Those failed attempts from Enis Parachi are incredibly costly because Alfred Klaus is just gaining incrementally and incrementally. And you can see that gap was 1.6 at the beginning of the lap, and we're not even finished with the lap. It's down to a second. He's going to be within DRS range at the end of the lap. I think we've just awoken a demon.
Alpha Klaus, he might actually have a chance of winning this race, actually, Marin.
He did it. He did it in 2018, I believe it was. He started on pole. He fell down to third or fourth. And
he actually has a chance. He actually has a chance.
He does.
Oh my god!
I mean, things like this—that's his specialty, really. When it comes to unexpected charges through the field, it's what he does best. But we are gonna see what's gonna happen. As here's Tomas Mandic, who is gonna go on to Wojtek Kulasek, his former teammate. The Renault driver gets the better of the Racing Point, though.
Yeah, I must say Renault's been doing pretty good so far. They maintained 5th and 6th respectively, and even though Kulasek has been doing a completely different strategy in comparison to Franco Gambo, who's been, on the coattails of Teresny and Klaus to maintain that P5 at the mid. Kulasek, oh god, that's Johansson making another slide.
What is going on with Jesper right now? I think the tires are just
Marky
going
Tire
now.
is going to overtake Dennis Graf.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing on my screen right
What's
now.
going on?
It's happening as it's gonna be McIntyre on the inside line. He
Oh,
gets a
Jesus!
massive slide though. That's gonna allow Graf to bounce back, heading into turn number 11. And I think he might just defend from this one. He does, and it is gonna be P9 for Graf at the moment. But what is going on with the world champion?
This is mad. We have Graf who's struggling so much. You got Johansson who can't stop sliding, and with Alfred Klaus, get this. Alfred Klaus has not been very attacking either. He's only done like a couple of attempts at Treznia, whereas Parachka has been constantly trying to make attempts on Johansson and to no avail. And both of those tires that they've had is going to be degraded so significantly that it's now Klaus's race to lose now. Thomas Mandic tries to look down for the inside of Kulisic to try and take away P6, but to no avail at the minute. Kulisic still just remains P6 at the moment, but my word, I'm surprised. Oh my god.
What a wacky race, honestly. Things have just been, it feels very up and down, honestly, as Parachka has just been constantly pressuring Jesper Johansson despite his several mistakes. Ennis just hasn't been able to find the way to get ahead. And I mean, he's been pressuring Jesper for 25 laps now and just hasn't succeeded for the Macedonian.
Yeah, I must say, you are right. Whenever you get outside of the race line, especially in Portimao, it is probably the most punishing of tracks because the elevation and the new tarmac that is the characteristic of this track here. It's very punishing if you go outside of the racing line because you've got extra force in regard to the tires. Because not only you're outside of the optimal steering line, but it's also the elevation as well, which adds to that just aggression and the tire degradation as well. So Klaus definitely has a really good chance of winning this race actually, as long as he makes quick move on Parachka and Johansson. If he does it quick and fast, then I think we can see Alfred Klaus win his second race this season.
Absolutely crazy to think that Klaus only has one race win to his name this season, as we're going to witness Mandic on to Kulasek. Nothing happens there though. Labazas Nisha is going to have a cheeky look on the inside line of Mandic. He might actually go for it, but Thomas is going to cover him off on the inside line, and nothing will happen there, unfortunately, unless Laban can get around into turn number 5, and he will, as he's going to be there on the inside line of Mandic, late on the brakes for the Ferrari, as the two are going to be side by side and heading out of Torre Vip, and now into turn number 6 and 7, they will be wheel to wheel, as Nishka can have the outside line up into turn number 8 as well, and I think it is going to give him the better run as well. Yeah, here he goes, and now then into the fearsome turn number 9. Labazas Nishkai, not before kicking up the back end a bit, will get himself ahead. No, not yet. Mandic is still hanging on to the position, but round the turn number 10 and 11, Labazas Nishkai is up into 7th. Take a bow. That was a great battle between the two.
That was very fierce, I must say, but well done to Laban Sishnutska as well. Serbian driver finally manages to dispose of Thomas Manches and gets himself up into 7th, so with the pace that he has, you could certainly see him challenging Kulisec as well soon, and I think this could be a little bit worrisome for Kulisec because he's got to defend an entirely new animal of Laban Sishnutska. He's going to have all that momentum from Mandic now to try and make the move now on him, and it's going to be coming here prematurely. Now it's going to head into turn 1. Has he got enough speed heading to turn 1 to overtake him? He's not quite close enough though at the minute, and it's still going to be side by side heading to turn 3. Turn 3 at the minute. How's it going to happen? Oh, my word. Gulisec just about holds it up through into turn 4 now. And currently at the minute, Laman's still holding to 7th though.
He almost had a wiggle on the grass there. He's trying to use all the track available to it. He's going to go to the inside line. Once again, it's Torre Vip. Voigt has no option but to leave the space for his former teammate as he's having a look on the inside line. But Kulasek's going to cover him off, and thus Nisha is not going to be able to do it on this lap.
Yeah, that was very good defense there. That was very good defense there from Laban Sisnechka, sorry, from with the Kulisec, what am I saying? And there's going to be no slides here, which is going to be very beneficial for Sisnechka and for Kulisec respectively, because the amount of, it is the closing stages of the race here, so everyone needs to be very cautious in regards to the tires now, because it's going to be absolutely degraded to hell if you're going to get outside the race line now. But meanwhile, on the front though, Klaus is not actually closing up to Parachka anymore. It used to be 7/10. But now it's been relaxed a lot more to 8/10 though. But Parachki, he's close as he's ever been to Jesper Johansson now. Is it going to work this time?
I think he definitely could. He's got the overlap heading into turn number 2, but no, he can't do it. I was almost certain he was going to be able
Franco
to carry that on.
Gamba! Whoa!
And he is going to be there into turn number 4.
Yeah, and they're going to go side by side for turn 3 at the minute. Kai Teresnia just about holds it off from Gamba. The man that was currently holding P3 is defending P4 from his life from the Renault. I mean, I must say, Franco Gamba's been done absolutely amazing so far as they're going to head down to the hairpin of Turi Vip, and Teresnia will have no choice but to leave the room for Franco Gamba of the Italian. Though they're going to do side by side as they head down into sector 2 at the minute. Now he's going to have a look at the outside, which now becomes the inside line, but Teresnia just about defends from him at the minute. Meanwhile, Sazichkai holds it off from Kulisic to the minute. Kulisic is trying to have a look down for the inside line now. Is it going to moment? He's trying to hold it in by strength. And is he going to try and make it work to know if Sazichkai does it? And he gets himself up into P6. Really well done for Laban.
Incredible work from Laban Zasnishka up into P6. That is a wonderful performance from the Serbian in the Ferrari. He just looks absolutely rapid at the moment. It's such a shame, though, that it's a 7.5 second gap to Franco Gamba up ahead. But we're going to see Enes Parachki then, as he is going to have the DRS enabled now, heading down start-finish straight. Let's see if he's going to be able to do it then, heading into turn number 1, as he is going to go up and alongside Jesper Johansson, but is he going to be close enough to turn 2? I don't think so, as the two teammates will go side by side once again and into turn 2. Johansson covers him off. Parachki not close enough, but this is a dangerous game for Enes Parachki, because I mentioned this in the past. Every failed attempt brings Alfred Klaus closer.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially in regards to, oh my goodness me, that was Emily Kazici and Luca Farina going to battle out there. Really good there for Emily Kazici as he fends off from Luca Farina. She goes ahead and maintains P11 at the minute, but very good performance there from them. And Fernando Tost, he still remains in P13 after trying an attempt on Luca Farina, but to no avail. But Jafari Blackwood, he's not quite close enough though to maintain, to overtake him for P13 in the minute. But you're right, you're absolutely right. In regards to Parachki, every failed attempt is going to be a massive hammer blow to him, and Johansson's already coming back after a horrible slide as well. And Klaus is now down to less than half a second now between him and Parachki now. So, and in a matter of like 7 laps or so, I still think it's doable, Moran. I still think Klaus can still win.
It can definitely happen. I do definitely think it is going to happen, but Alfred Klaus, in the day where Dennis Graf has faltered, he's going to do his best to try and disrupt the Mercedes team here, as Enes Parachki is going to go to the inside line. I don't think that's going to work, Enes. And here's a turn 2. It doesn't. And this will bring Alfred Klaus even closer, as Gamba and Cherezhnia will once again go side by side.
Kai Teresnia is just fending off from Franco Gamba at the moment, and Kai Teresnia just about goes ahead and maintains P4 from Franco Gamba though, but Franco Gamba's going absolutely aggressive now. Emilio Kazici and Luca Farina are going to be fighting out side by side. It's the battle of the Italian cars. Emilio Kazici is going to use the speed heading down into turn 3, and she does it. She defends very well from Luca Farina. Wow.
Yeah, lovely stuff from Emilia Konishina. That is a great bit of defending from Konishina, and she will stay in 11th as a result, as Enes Parachki chases Alfred Klaus through Craig Jones. Franco Gamba chases down Kai Cherezhnia as well. Battles kicking off in the top 5, or I wouldn't say kicking off, but they're ongoing, that's to say the least.
Escalating. I think escalating might be the right word though.
Yeah,
We're
thank you.
now lap 6 out of 35 though. 6 laps to go. In the Portuguese Grand Prix, though, this is surely meant to be one of the most iconic staples here this season so far, and it's all going to be crescendoing into a final act at the moment now. Can Johansson defend his lead from Parachki? Can both of the Mercedes defend their P1 and P2 from Alfred Klaus? Can Cherezhnia defend it from Franco Gamba? Can Mandic and Graf? Oh my god, Graf is still P9, they still apparently. Franco Gamba is still trying to make the move on Kai Cherezhnia, though, still not to no avail, though. Meanwhile, this is a little battle here between Mandic and Kulisic to the minute. Mandic goes ahead and overtakes Kulisic, though. They're still going to be side by side, though, with Dan's Graf around behind as well. Surely whoever's going to be the loser there will probably be the benefit for De Graaf, and I think that will be the case. Kulisic is going to be in the benefit for Dennis Graf, though, who's going to have to make it as easy as he needs. Dennis Graf finally gets himself and gains some positions now as he finally gets
McIntyre. Look at McIntyre behind, who's going to get involved with it as well. It's a 4 battle for P7, but Mandic will get Kulasek, as Kulasek's fighting Dennis Graf for 9th. At the moment, it's not looking too good for Kulasek, as he is gonna be there on the outside line to Samsung. That should be the more superior line, but Groff is still gonna hang it on as they head through Craig Jones. Kulasek on the inside line gets the slide, and that's gonna give Groff the advantage, and it will be a few more points for Dennis Groff as he slips up into 8th.
Yeah, that's really good there from Groff. He finally gets himself overtake someone, and I think that might be the first overtake we've seen him done so far this race, actually, to be honest. But Parachki's all over the back of Johansson now. This is surely the closest it's ever been. Surely it will work.
I definitely think it's gonna work. As into turn 2, yes, they're still side by side.
It's still gonna make it work. No. Yes.
It's gonna work almost, I don't know. It's going back and forth here, but Johansson does cover off Ennis Parachi. But look at this, Ennis has got the run. Heading into turn number 5, he's gonna be there on the side line. I can't believe it, it's finally gonna work on lap 32 of 35 for Ennis Parachi as the two go wheel to wheel through 6 and 7. It's gonna be Parachi on the outside line into turn number 8. Can he make it stick as he's gonna get the better exit? He does it, I think he's done it. Ennis Parachi takes the lead of the Portuguese Grand Prix. Get in there!
31 laps. 31 laps it took for Parachki to overtake Jesper Johansson, and finally it all comes down, and finally with confidence and with swag, he does it. Ennis Parachki goes ahead and he takes the lead at the minute though, but it's still not over yet now, because now he's got Johansson and a charging Alfred Klaus still behind him, still looking to take the charge and the lead for sure. But for now, Ennis Parachki can sigh a big relief as he finally goes ahead and takes the lead.
Such a mature drive from Ennis Parachi, really. I mean, who has not a lot of drivers on the field has the patience to wait 31 entire laps. But Johansson, he's not done yet. He's having a look on the inside line.
That's a slide as well. That's a slide. That's going to be very bad. That's going to allow Alfred Cross. Is all over the back of him now. Heading down to turn 3 now. Alfred Cross definitely needs to make this quick. He needs to have any chance of overtaking Ennis Parachi, though. Meanwhile, the back there, that's Spark Gamba still trying to make it overtake. Kai Trasher still does not come to any fruition, though. And looking for trying to make it over. Emily Kuznichia just goes ahead of that, but she just does it. Uses a bit of the speed, and they're going to head down into turn 3 now with the speed once again from Kazuchika. Heads up from turn 2. She still once again defends P11 from Luca Farina despite no points being awarded there. She's driving absolutely amazingly so far.
Yeah, lovely to see from Emilia Konechina as they're on the inside line. It is going to be Luca Farina battling away with the Ferrari sister cars. The two go wheel to wheel. It's going to be Konechina on the inside line heading into Samsung, but that's going to be the less superior line as Farina's going to get the better exit compared to Konechina, and Luca Farina should be into 11th heading through Craig Jones, and he does it. Luca Farina will get 11th from Emilia Konechina, who I have to say has been defending absolutely fantastically this race, to only go down 2 positions to what has been far superior cars.
Yeah, I must say this is probably a star-making drive for Emily Kazuchika. It's a clear statement heading into the next season in regards to her talents, though. But meanwhile, in the front, though, Alfred Klaus is the back of Jesper Johansson, though. He's got 2 laps to try and make at least any gains for Johansson or Parachki, though. I think for Parachki it's kind of over at the minute because it's 1.1 seconds. The Macedonian driver is absolutely rapid so far, but there's still a lot of positions not to play for, though, especially in regards to the top 10 as well. They're all so close to each other. I'm not sure who's going to prevail in this one.
It is absolutely just nail-biting here, but Parachki has built up the gap 1.1 seconds. I think it might just be over for Jesper Johansson for the race win here at Portimao. Parachki might just have it, but Johansson right now is just gonna have to worry about, I think the race lead is a lost cause. He's just gonna have to worry about holding Alfred Klaus at bay and securing the Mercedes 1-2.
Yeah, 2 races to go in round 10 in the Hockenheim ring. This is a similar position that we've seen before. Johansson was in the lead, and then suddenly he was overtaken by Parachki and a Red Bull, which dropped him from P1 down to P3 in a matter of the closing stages of the race. Can we see a similar feat here? We've only got 2 laps to go, and Johansson has got a lot of time to defend for his life from a charging Alfred and calculated Alfred Klaus. But we shall see how it happens here. It's coming down to the final lap, though. We shall see who will prevail.
It is gonna be absolutely it's going to be a thriller. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do not go anywhere for this final lap of the 2020 Portuguese Grand Prix. We're looking at Dennis Groff, who's going to try to get one more point as he's going to go on to Thomas Mandic, but he's not close enough. And that is going to be Groff. I think it's unfortunately going to be 8 for him. Just about, as we have Toss chasing down Konnichina. I don't think Klaus is going to be able to do anything on Jesper Johansson, so Johansson will be able to take second in this race unless he does slip up into another mistake, which, I mean, anything can happen, as we all do know in the ACOC, but there's only a few corners to go here.
Don't jinx it, Miran. Please don't jinx it.
I'll try not to, but yeah, I have to say, it's been quite an eventful 35 laps here at Portimao, but it will be this man coming home with, I have to say, one of the most mature drives I've seen this season, as Enes Parachki will throw his hat into the ring of the championship fight, as he will see the checker flag first, and he wins in Portugal, as Enes Parachki wins the Portuguese Grand Prix with a great drive. Jesper Johansson will have to settle for second, Alfred Klaus for third, and Kai Teresnia, even though there's going to be no podium for him, he will take P4 from Franco Gamba. But it's going to be very, very interesting now, because even though Johansson will have quite a bigger lead for the championship, Dennis Groff will be on 181 points, while Enes Parachki will be on 180. So Parachki is properly in there now.
Honestly, whenever we had this first come into the race, it was between Johansson and Graf. That was the kind of the situation we had. But Enes Parachki was just such a calculated move, and he didn't overtake precisely at the moment where Alfred Klaus could not challenge them at the minute. It's really good there for the Macedonian, and he can very, very be happy with a race win and the fastest lap as well.
Indeed, I have to say, a really, really strong drive from Enes Parachki. Once again, yeah, brilliant work from him, as he will take the race win here at Portugal with the fastest lap as well. Jesper Johansson will take second, with Alfred Klaus rounding out the podium in third for his 5th podium this season. Or no, it's 6th, sorry. Kai Teresnia will take a very, very good P4 as Franco Gamba finishes P5. Laban Zasnishkai is going to be a very, very good P6 with Thomas Mandic in 7th and Dennis Groff in 8th. Wojtek Kulasek will be 9th with Lewis McIntyre rounding out the top 10.
Luca Farina is the best of the rest, finishing off in 11th with the second of the Scuderia Fataris. But behind him is a very good performance from Emilia. She finishes in 12th for Alfa Romeo. Fernando Tost, it's pretty disappointing for the McLaren, for the second of the McLaren drivers, he finished at 13th. Jafari Blackway, he's 2 position gains in the first lap, and he finishes in P14th at the moment. Disappointing there from the AlphaTauris, it's 15th and 16th respectively, but Oshkan and Nilsson. Giulia Tossetti, 17th, outdoes her teammate. Victor Albon in 18th for the Dane. 19th, Josef Vidichuto for the Slovakian in 19th. And in a distant 20th is Daniel Valle once again for the Alfa Romeo, the Chinese drivers in 20th. And there were no retirements for the Portuguese Grand Prix.
Yeah, very, very good to see. But yeah, I think that has been it for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Thank you, everyone, for watching this race. But before we go, we will award Driver of the Day. And personally, I think there's been a lot of fantastic performers this race. But if there's one man I would like to give it to, it would be Laban Zasnishkai, because I think starting in P9 and clawing your way through the field, overtaking people like Dennis Groff and Thomas Mandic to finish a very, very good P6. I think he did the absolute best he could today. And yeah, he gets my Driver of the Day.
Oh, there's just so many notable mentions. We can give it to Enes Parachki for his calculated move. He just overtook just right so that Alpha Klaus wouldn't be able to catch up. And we can also give it to Klaus as well, because his calculated moves as well. If it had been just a few laps later, then I think he would have been the lead. But I think I'm going to give it to Emilia, to be honest, because it's not an easy feat in a far inferior car, and then in a matter of a few laps just overtake into the point position, and then just defend so well in such a technical track as Portimao. she'll be very proud with that performance there. And even though it's 12th and outside the points, I think she still has done amazingly, and I think that's why she gets my driver of the day.
Yeah, very, very well done from Emilia Conditioner as well. But that has been it for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Thank you so much for watching. Racing action at Portimao is not over yet, though. I do still think we're gonna have the
Porsche Super Cup.
the Porsche Super Cup Portimao race. I think it should be tomorrow, if I am not mistaken, and Super Formula.
Yes, I think it. I believe it is. Well, that's
Yeah,
what it has scheduled, anyways. And there's that one. Are we having? We don't have Super Formula, do we?
not this week, no, but it will be back
Not this
next
week.
week.
No, no.
We've had a lot of
And
complications with this week, so we haven't had a time to run a lot of things. But we should expect a full schedule next week as well. Next round of Formula One will be the Mexican Grand
Mexico.
Prix at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for round 13 of the championship. And trust me, things will be interesting as Johansson now leads the championship on 23 points. Enes Parachki is properly up there now.
Yep, as well, and especially in regards to the European stages are now over, which means that the remaining four races of the F1 calendar now remains outside of Europe. Now we're going to head down to North America for Mexico, then round 14, round 15 in Bahrain in the Middle East, and then it all comes down to a season finale at Interlagos in South America.
Yes, indeed. So, thanks so much for watching the ACOC, and we will return tomorrow with Porsche Super Cup. Thank you. Or no, sorry. I've been Miran.
I've been Jamie.
Thanks so much for watching. We will return tomorrow with